nurturing, energetic holding. And if you want to look at that in a very shallow way, men want to know that their woman is beautiful, and it takes time. Robert would always joke, if you want to be the trophy wife, you can't be number 2. You got to be number 1. So I'd be up in the gym for 2 hours a day. I mean, I still do that now. It's my healthy habits, but it's just, there's 2 different sides to this. Men really do want something just like women really do want something. And if those 2 people can come together with open honesty about their desires, then there is nothing wrong with it at all.
Well, here's where I challenge that, right? Because you said something earlier, I can't remember the exact terminology you used, but you mentioned like perceived relationship or perceived affection or something like that. I can't remember the exact terminology. My question to you is, do sugar babies and sugar daddies actually like each other genuinely? Or if none of that, like what I call surface level exchange was part of the conversation, would they even like each other?
So I've heard, this is situational. I've heard stories from both sides where someone literally would never want the man to touch them, but they go to dinners because they keep him company. Damn. They're just utterly disgusted, and that is truly just their job. Okay. I actually know someone who does that, and like, go her. She gets $4,000 a month. And I mean, some people are just obscenely rich where they don't care. They see that you're in college struggling. And I know this girl doesn't sleep with them. And I'm just like, that's crazy. But those are rare. Those guys are what people would call whales in the sugar community, where they just have so much that they don't care to give it. And then there's different types. There's these guys that are called pay pigs, where they don't even want anything from you. They just want to pay you for existing. And they want to be like degraded. And women volunteer for this. Usually they'll reach out in your DMs and they'll be like, can you be I'll be your pay pig. And then they just send you money for saying mean things to them. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Now, those are rare too.
Hold on. So, some guy will send money to a woman and ask her to insult him?
Because he might be there's these kinks that are shaming based, where even if the man has a large penis, he wants to be shamed about his penis. So like, I'm assuming the way this works is he would tell you like, my penis is so small. And he'd be like, yes, you piece of shit. I don't know. Pay pigs. I also have friends who have pay pigs who actually have this one friend who has a pay pig. She's in her 50s. Okay. And she doesn't have to do anything that mean. Guys just want to send her money.
Really?
They're like a fan of what she does online.
Well, that's called OnlyFans, isn't it?
She's not on OnlyFans.
I mean, well, those guys are the only fans. I mean, you don't need a platform for that, right? You just do it. But like, so you're on Seeking Arrangements, or you've been on Seeking Arrangement?
So I technically am back on. I told Seeking I want to be on the platform now that I'm single again. Not only so I can help my clients whenever they're creating their own profiles, because I truly believe it is the best website out there. It's the world's largest, #1 website for dating successful humans. And it's got the most space for you to truly write about what you want in a person and yourself. Plus the filters are insane. So you can put, I'm literally looking for gifts and vacations, or you can put, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, marriage, or I'm not open to someone who's married. There's all these filters and you literally get exactly what you're looking for. There is no questions when you are on this website.
Wait, there's a filter that allows you to seek men or women, I guess, who are married?
Or who are not married. So like if you're like, okay, there's a lot of people on here who are looking for their sneaky link, but you're not interested in that, you can only filter out people who are single. You can change your zip code. So if you've always wanted to live in Beverly Hills and you're gorgeous and you live in Podunk, Alabama.
Pay
to upgrade your sinking profile. You might get flown out to Beverly Hills.
Hold on, but let me ask you a question, right? Are some of the sugar babies sometimes in relationships themselves?
I know someone who just did that to my best guy friend. She was a sugar baby, and she tried to convince him that she wasn't sleeping with the guys that were her clients, but I don't believe it. And he tolerated it for years. He stayed in like a 3-year relationship with this girl, and she had 2 sugar daddies. I think she was making about $5,000 a month, 2 dinners, or maybe 1 dinner a week. 1 dinner a week. She said it was just dinner.
$5,000 a month doesn't sound like a lot to me, given what I know about the space. But like,
it doesn't sound like a lot, but I will tell you, I have dated the wealthy older men until I came out as a lesbian. And to be honest, $5,000 a month for dinner, like not living, like that's pretty good.
No,
like if you're actually not sleeping with someone, that I would say that's a good rate.
I'm not saying it's not a good amount of money for someone to earn to do nothing or to just be cute. I'm saying for a wealthy man to give $5,000 a month, that's like giving a personal assistant a salary to their in their business. It's probably a tax write-off in some capacity. What I'm saying is, like, at least where I was going with this was, I'm trying to imagine the guy that pays for this. Now, there are men who don't care. They're like, I just want the company, no big deal. But I would have to imagine that there are some men who are looking for love, but are leading with their money and hoping that somebody will fall for them, given how much they exchange. I feel bad for those men who I think are being taken advantage of if those women are selling them a dream. Right, especially if you're a guy that has money and you are generous just by nature, right? And you're with someone that is putting on the show of showing interest, and you fall for it, right? And I agree. Yeah.
But here's the thing. That can happen in any relationship. I just got out of a relationship with a woman who said she was very open to being with a younger woman for the rest of her life. And I'm about to release the podcast episode. It's juicy. Go listen to it. Enlighten the podcast. I had her on my podcast. She's like, the sex was amazing. Like, anytime you want to go again, let's go. But like, I don't actually want this long-term relationship with a younger woman. Right. So she led me on, but she didn't mean to. She just changed her mind about what she wanted. And I think that's a risk that we take in all relationships when we put our heart on the line. And I actually think there's less risk for that through sugar baby, sugar daddy relationships. Not that I'm saying go do it. Honestly, I've seen people really get in bad financial situations over it because you could have someone just pull the rug out from underneath you.
Yeah.
And your whole lifestyle's gone and you have nowhere to live. Like that, it's not something you want to depend on. You want to be stocking your money away and building something with your resources. But I mean, anyone can change their mind in any relationship, and that just takes an emotionally intelligent human who's emotionally available. And to be honest, people who come into these types of arrangements typically aren't as emotionally available. They may be emotionally aware and they're able to communicate exactly what they want. But if they were emotionally available, they wouldn't be leading with their money or their looks.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to make. I think someone changing their mind in a relationship, I think, is a little bit more organic versus something that's intentional. Like, I'm pretending to like you. This is coming from both the men and women, right? I'm pretending to like you. I'm treating you this way for the facade that you might favor, right? A woman might favor the facade of someone caring for them, which might show up financially, where in reality, she could be replaced. She could be talked bad about. She could be embarrassed in many ways and just disposed of, right? Same thing with the guy, right? He could be receiving all this affection that even on the surface level, he might say, yeah, I know this is because of this arrangement. But sometimes he might be like, wait, does she like me? She's saying like a lot of nice things. She's being very supportive. Maybe I converted this woman to somebody that I can, because I'm sure those things happen. Like, it turns into an arrangement and then it's a relationship.
Yes. So I get DMs like that literally every day saying they met their soulmate or they've been married for years and they met them on Seeking and they found me through a Seeking hashtag. And it's amazing to me. It's beautiful. Even the founder, Brandon Wade, just actually met his wife, Dana, on Seeking. And he's waiving his right to divorce and not getting a prenup with her because he finally believes in love.
He's waiving his right to what?
To divorce. I don't know how you legally do that, but he's signing something where he can never divorce her. No prenup. Because he truly believes he found love. I do believe
which means she's not allowed to divorce him? Who's the one with the money?
Brandon Wade, the creator of Seeking.
Right. So he's not allowed to divorce her and she's not allowed to divorce him?
He's giving up his right to divorce.
But she can.
I'm not sure where she stands.
But she can divorce him.
I'm not sure about that specifically.
I'm dead.
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that either. That's like chopping off your own leg. Wait, so you've been in this space of sugar babies and sugar daddies. You have had an account on Seeking Arrangements. What's the most outrageous? Give me two things, and they might not exist in the same scenario. One, give me the most outrageous amount of money someone's ever offered you. Mm-hmm. And two, give me the most outrageous requests someone's ever made of you.
Okay. As far as money goes, I never position my profile. Well, first of all, when you are on Seeking.com, you cannot communicate about money because that would make it prostitution. So legally, you cannot do that. You would have to take that conversation off of the website.
Okay.
And Seeking is very strict about these rules. So outside of that website, I have been offered crazy things, but I'm not interested in those people because I have always been at my heart of hearts interested in a real relationship with an older person.
What were those things?
I truly am attracted to older people.
What were those things they offered you?
I think the biggest one was like $100,000 just to have in an account for plastic surgery. But that person was really fucked up and they wanted to control a woman with plastic surgery and like tell her what to get done. Like their own life-size Barbie doll. It was crazy. Yeah. So I don't tolerate communication with those people. And I did that like 5 years ago where I even had that message sent to me. The craziest experience I've had was a man, that same man, literally telling me, hey, I'm really interested in you, but I would have to have this, and this done to your body. And it's not that I don't think you're beautiful now. I just love knowing that I can control what a woman does. And I was like, peace out. But it was the most explicit conversation.
I mean, by all means, they're seeking an arrangement, right? And I'm sure there are women who will line up for that. Right. And
well, but I don't know. You'd have to be really wanting to be controlled. You'd have to be into that sub dynamic. I think
there's a lot of women who are in that dynamic and a lot of men in that dynamic. And sometimes it looks different. Sometimes it's the reverse. Right. Just like a man wants to be humiliated and pay for it. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
Like those things exist in so many different worlds. But what's fascinating to me is how Seeking Arrangements, they don't want that conversation to be had in the space online.
No, and it shifted so much. It's honestly being shifted into a real dating website. Connection.
Before we get there, right? Now, be honest with me. Mm-hmm. How many women who go on this Seeking Arrangement site to find sugar daddies are really disguised sex workers?
I wouldn't know. I don't.
Do you think there's a population? Do you think there's a population of women who do that?
I don't know.
The reason why I say that is like it would almost, because I'm assuming women don't pay to be on that site, right? So there's other places where I think that is allowed. So that would be like Craigslist. I think there's a website, something Price.
on Seeking, you'll get instantly kicked off. And I have an example, I'll admit. I got out of a divorce when I was 26 with a man my age.
Wait, you used to be married?
I was a whole year and a half.
Oh, okay.
The plot thickens, okay?
Okay.
And I was trying to figure out how to fund my business and pay my bills on my own. And I got on Seeking. I didn't know, at the time it was Seeking Arrangements.
Okay.
So I didn't know what the rules were. And I made a profile that I literally listed, will sell pictures of my feet on my harp. Because I knew guys like feet pics and I knew I played the harp.
I don't understand that. I just don't understand.
I don't either. But I can tell you what, in 30 seconds, my profile got taken down for discussing financial exchange on Seeking. So there is no way to communicate that. That would have to be something people completely take the conversation somewhere else. And I'm pretty sure if you get on Tinder, you most likely can have that conversation anywhere. But because Seeking is so watched over, they are very picky about that.
No, but I get that. But my thing is that, like, you're talking about a platform where women of all ages, particularly young, beautiful women, will go there and posture themselves to get funded by men, right? And oftentimes they don't have to do much to get the funding, right?
Not usually.
And if you think about an actual prostitute who actually got to hit the streets, go to hotel rooms and X, Y, and Z, doesn't have to get treated with any type of dignity. Now, I'm sure many of them do, right? But
it's still more risky.
There's a lot more risk there, right? So I'm trying to imagine a world where a prostitute wouldn't pursue being on this platform and then disguising herself as just a woman who's looking for an affluent man, when in reality, when they get together, it's like, okay, I want to get paid this. Here's my price. I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z for this amount. I'm willing to do this. Like, there's nothing stopping that from happening, right? And I'm not saying it's wrong, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just imagining like there's probably a large population of women who's doing that because it makes sense. It's more secure.
I mean, there's a possibility that it's happening, but I can tell you that's happening everywhere, because what you'll find is people putting their OnlyFans links in their Tinder bio or whatever.
Yeah.
And Seeking would immediately kick that off. So it has to be something that's discussed off of the website if that's the case.
So
at least since I've been on.